Okay.
Teacher, I want to say, may Allah protect Saudi Arabia.
Okay, you can start. Yes, Yahya.
May Allah protect Saudi Arabia and all Islamic countries from any dangers.
Thank you so much, Yahya. And why we study science, grade 2?
Because the science of today is the technology of tomorrow.
Amazing. Thanks for help. Thank you so much, grade 2. Okay, please, grade 2, follow our online class rules. Be prepared on the time. Raise your hand to respond and to ask any questions. And close your camera, close your mic, and no one write on the chat. Okay, let's start. Who can tell me how is the weather today? Yeah. Yes, Yahya Hussein. Yahya Hussein.
Yes, teacher.
Tell me, Yahya, how is the weather today, Yahya?
Sunny.
Today is sunny. Wow. And what about the temperature? Is it warm, cold, cold? What about the temperature? What? Yeah. Warm or cold or cold? Yes, Yahya. What about the temperature?
Cold.
Yeah, it's cold. Now I'm feeling cold. Okay, thank you so much, Yahya. So we know in the last period, grade 2, that we have different kind of the weather. Maybe the weather are sunny, or maybe sunny, cloudy, rainy, or snowy. So different kind of the weather. And our lesson today, it's about that. All of you can say together. What the title of our lesson today? Yes, grade 1, grade 2. What's the title of our lesson?
Weather.
Yeah, weather. It's about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. It's about the weather. Thank you so much. Okay, our objectives, inshallah, we will define the temperature, the wind, and the precipitation, and we will know about it. First, I will ask you about this picture. How is the weather? How can we describe the weather from this picture? Yes, Abdullah Al-Hakami. Look, Abdullah, look at this picture. Yeah, look at this temperature and tell me.
Abdullah Muhammad Said or
Abdullah Al-Hakami. Abdullah Al-Hakami. Yes, Abdullah Al-Hakami.
Yes.
Yeah, look, Abdullah, look at this picture and tell me, what about with the weather here? Can you read this temperature? 13, but it is minus 13 degrees Celsius. Yes. Degrees Celsius. You know that the C, it's meaning Celsius, okay? Okay, so the temperature is minus 13 degrees Celsius. So it's cold or cold or hot. Do you know what is the weather?
Cold.
Yeah, it's very cold. Yes, Abdullah? Thank you so much, Abdullah. Amazing, Abdullah. Okay, yes, Salim. Salim? Salim.
Yes, yes.
Okay, look, Salim, look at the second one. Can you read this number? Can you read this temperature? It's 24. It's 24 degrees Celsius, okay? 24. Yeah?
24.
Yeah. What about the 24? This 24 temperature, tell us what about the weather? Is the weather sunny or...
Sun.
Yeah, it's sunny. And what about the temperature? 24, is it warm or cold?
Cold.
24, it's warm. 24, it's warm. Look at the sun. The sun warm the earth and the temperature will be warm. Yeah? Yes, Salim? Okay. It's warm. It's warm. It's warm. Thank you so much, Salim. Okay. Yes, Muhammad Hilal.
Yes, teacher.
And tell me, describe the weather from this temperature. Yeah.
13 down.
Look here. 20.
24.
Yeah, it's 24 degrees Celsius. 24 degrees Celsius. Yeah. What about the 24? Is it warm or cold?
Warm.
Yeah, it's warm. And look at this picture. Do you know what about this picture? It is meaning sunny or stormy?
Sunny.
This one, this picture. Yeah, this one.
Cold.
Yeah, it's cold and stormy, but maybe it's warm. 24. It's not cold. 24. 24 warm, but it is stormy. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much, Muhammad. Okay, and what about you, Muhammad Fahd? Yes, Muhammad Fahd?
Teacher,
Yeah.
you say my name?
What's
Abdulaziz
my-
Islam?
No, Abdulaziz, wait, please. Yes, Muhammad Fahd? Yes, Naif? Jabir? Basil?
Did we say Amar al-Kaifi?
No, Omar, wait, my honey. Yes, Omar, yes, Basil? Okay, Omar, can you answer? Omar Faith. Look, Omar.
Yes.
Yeah, what about this temperature? Can you read this temperature? It's 24 degrees Celsius, okay? When this is the circle, the small circle meaning degrees, and C Celsius, okay? So it's 24 degrees Celsius, okay?
Okay.
So what about the weather? This temperature tell us it is a warm or cold or what?
Warm.
And look at this picture. It's also what?
Cold.
Yeah, it's also rainy. No, not cold. It's also rainy. Cold or warm? Yes, Omar. Thank you so much, Omar. Okay, so grade 1, we can describe the weather by the temperature. We know that yesterday or in the last period. And why we study? I'm sorry, lost your mic. Okay, why we study the weather grade 2? Because the weather, number 1, affects what you wear. And number 2, it affects what the activities you can do. So the weather is very important for us. And how we can describe the weather? We know that one way people can describe the weather is by the air temperature. We can describe the weather by the air temperature. But the weather changes from day to day. Not the weather are the same every day. Of course, no. Maybe today the weather is sunny and warm, but tomorrow, inshallah, maybe it's cloudy and very cold. So the weather changes from day to day and can describe. We can describe the weather by 3 ways. Number 1, we can describe by the temperature as we make now. Now we can describe the weather by the temperature. If we know that the temperature 21 or 24 or more than 20, so the weather may be hot or warm. And if it is low than 15, it will be cold or cold. So we can describe the weather number 1 by the temperature. And number 2 by precipitation. Number 2, we can describe the weather by precipitation. And number 3, we can describe the weather by the wind. By the wind. Zoom in to know more about it. What is the temperature? The temperature tells us how hot or cold something is. So what about the temperature? The temperature tells us how hot or cold something is. How hot or cold something is. Yes, Yusuf, can you tell me about the temperature? Yusuf?
No.
Tell me about the temperature. The temperature tells us how hot or cold
Hot or cold
something is. Okay?
is.
Okay, do you know what is the temperature of today?
I know. It is very snowy.
Today it's very snowy? Where is the snow? Can you see the snow today? I can't see the snow. Where is the snow? It's very cold, but it's not snowy. Okay, so if we finish, all of you ask your father or your mother to tell you about the temperature, okay? And write the temperature of this day and every day in this week, okay? To know what about the temperature, how the temperature tell us about the weather. Thank you, Yusuf. So the temperature tell us how hot or cold something is. How hot or cold something is. But how we can measure this temperature? We can measure the temperature by thermometer. By thermometer. By thermometer. Please close your mic. Thermometer. So how we can measure the temperature? By thermometer. By thermometer. By.
Teacher, I got a question for you. How does thermometer work?
Okay, I will send it to you a video if we finish, inshallah, help you to make a thermometer in your home. Okay, it's very easy to make it, to know how it's work. Okay, Abdullah?
Okay.
I prepared this video and I will send it to you, inshallah, on Telegram. So, grade 2.
I know.
Yeah, the thermometer used to measure the temperature. Used to measure the temperature. Yes, Muhammad Riyad? Tell me, Muhammad Riyad, how we can measure the temperature? By? Yes, Muhammad Riyad, how we can measure the temperature by? Where are you, Muhammad? Yes, Marzu, how we can measure the temperature, Marzu?
The teacher.
Are you Muhammad Riyad?
No.
Marzu? Yes, Marzu. Tell me, Marzu, how we can measure the temperature? By the thermometer. By
the
thermometer. By
the thermometer.
Yes, one more time, Marzu. Thermometer. 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 Yeah, one more time. Thermometer.
Thermometer.
Thank you so much, Marzu. You are amazing. Who is saying? Yeah. Yeah?
I am Jabir, teacher. I want to say.
Yes, Jabir. So tell me, I call your name and you not answer. So tell me, Jabir, what about the thermometer? The thermometer is a tool used to measure the
thermometer.
Yes, this thermometer used to measure the temperature. Used to measure the temperature. Thank you, Jabir. So it's used to make that or to measure the temperature. Thank you so much, Jabir. Okay, and I think you can see this thermometer when you go outside. They must measure our temperature because the coronavirus. So this is the thermometer. What is the thermometer? It's a tool used to measure the temperature. It's a tool used to measure the temperature. And people use this thermometer to measure the temperature. Look here at picture number 1. What about the temperature here? Yes, Yahya Muayyad. Tell me, Yahya, what about the temperature here? The temperature here, it is in this picture. It is 21 degrees Celsius. Okay, it's 21 degrees Celsius or 70 Fahrenheit. Yes, Yahya?
Yes.
Yes, 21 degrees Celsius. We can write it like this: 21 degree as a circle and C for Celsius. Okay, this 21 meaning the whether it's warm or cold or what. Look at this picture and tell me.
It's watch minute and we'll finish.
Zaid, close your mic, please. Yeah, it's warm or cold?
Warm.
Yeah, it's warm. It's warm, Yahya. Okay. And what about this picture, Yahya? Number 2. Look here. It's 5 degrees Celsius. 5. So if we write it, we can write it like this: 5 degrees Celsius or 40 Fahrenheit. So it is cold, Yahya. Amazing. Thank you so much, Yahya.
You're welcome.
So we have 2 ways to describe the temperatures, grade 2. We have 2 ways to describe the temperature. So how many ways? 2. How many ways? 2. Number 1, by the degrees Fahrenheit, by the degrees Fahrenheit, or by the degrees Celsius. Okay? So number 1, by the degrees Fahrenheit, or number 2, by the degrees Celsius. Can you tell me, Majid, how many ways we can describe the temperature? Majid? Okay, Mishari? Yes, Mishari. Tell me how many ways we can describe the temperature, Mishari? 2 or 3?
3.
2 ways, Mishari. 2 ways. Number 1, degrees Fahrenheit or degrees Celsius. Okay? So how many ways? Yes, Mishari. How many ways?
How many ways? 2 ways.
Yes, 2 ways. Amazing, Mishari. Thank you so much. Can you tell me, Omar Saeed, about this ways? Number 1.
Yes, teacher.
Yes. So we have 2 ways, or there are 2 ways to describe the temperature, Omar. Yeah?
The one is
Yes.
the ways of the cold or hot. If cold, he said cold. If hot, he said hot.
Yes, this is about the temperature like hot or cold. But I asked you about the ways to describe the temperature. We can describe it by number 1, degrees Fahrenheit or degrees Celsius. So can you tell me again? 2 ways. Number 1, degrees Fahrenheit.
2 ways. The first degrees, other 2 ways.
Yes. Degrees Fahrenheit or degrees Celsius. Can you repeat it? Degrees Fahrenheit or degrees Celsius?
Degrees so high.
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
Or degrees
Celsius.
Yeah, Celsius. Thank you so much, Omar. Amazing boy. Thank you so much. Okay, so there are 2 ways to describe the temperature. I know that the name is difficult, but yeah, you must know that there are 2 ways. Okay, 2 ways. Number 1, degrees Fahrenheit, and number 2, degrees Celsius. Okay, so we know that we can describe the weather by the temperature, and we know everything about the temperature. And also we can describe the weather, number 2, by precipitation. What about this precipitation? What about this precipitation? This is number 2 to describe the weather. Precipitation is water that falls to the earth from the clouds. Look, this is the clouds, grade 2. Yeah, where is the pen? Yeah, this is the clouds. Yeah, and the water falls down to the earth from these clouds. This is called precipitation. This is called precipitation. Can you repeat after me? Precipitation. Precipitation. What about this precipitation? It is the water that falls to the earth from the clouds. I'm sorry. It's the water that falls to the earth from clouds. It's the water that falls to the earth from clouds. So what about the precipitation? Is water that falls to the earth from clouds. Yes, Amr? Amr? Amr Mahmoud? Yes, Amr. Tell me again, what about the precipitation? Is water?
Water
Yeah.
and cold.
Yeah, it's the water that falls to the earth. That
Salt to the air.
falls to the earth from
the water.
From the clouds. From the
Cloud.
Again, Omar. So it is water that falls to the earth.
The cloud.
Yeah, falls to the earth from the
Cloud.
Amazing, Amr. Thank you so much, Amr. Yes, Hamad. Tell me again about the precipitation.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, tell me, Hamad, about the precipitation. Is water
Is water
that
that falls to air from clouds.
Amazing, Hamad. Thank you so much, Hamad. Good boy. Okay, so it is the water that falls to the air. Yeah?
I'm not sure.
What's your name? What's your name? Yes, Omar, wait, honey. I will call your name. So, precipitation is water that falls to the earth from the clouds. That falls to the earth from the clouds. But we have types of the precipitation. What we have types of the precipitation? Maybe when the water falls from the clouds to the earth, it falls like the rain. It falls in a shape of rain. So number one types of the precipitation, it is the rain. Number one, rain. And number two, it's called sleet. It's called sleet. Number two, sleet. Look at the sleet, like the ice. Yeah, ice is called sleet. Sleet. And number three, hail. Number three, hail. Look, this is also shape of the precipitation. And number four is the snow. Number four is the snow. Okay, so we have four types of the precipitation. We have four types of the precipitation. Number one, rain. Number one, rain. Rain. Number two, sleet. 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 Number three, hail. 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 Number four, snow. 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 Okay, so who can tell me what are the types of the precipitation? Yes, Omar Adil?
Me, yes.
Yes, Omar. Tell me, Omar, about the types of the precipitation. Number one.
I want to say, please. Rain, rain.
All of you. Yeah, number one, rain. And number two?
Sleet.
Yes, sleet. Amazing, Omar. Thank you so much, Omar. Yes, Subhi.
Yes,
Subhi?
yes, teacher.
So we have four kinds of the precipitation. Yes?
Yes.
Number one, Omar, tell me. Number one, rain. Number two, sleet. Number three, sorry.
Number four, cold.
No, look here. Look here, Subhi. I asked you about the type of the precipitation. Yes, no. Okay, and number three, hail.
Hail.
Yeah, hail. Amazing, Subhi. Thank you so much, Subhi. Yes, Muhammad Mahani. Close your mic, grade 2. If I ask you, can... Yes, Muhammad Mahani. Tell me again about the types of the precipitation.
One, snow, sleet, hail, snow.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much, Muhammad. Yes, Zaid.
Teacher.
Zaid, tell me, Zaid, about the types of the precipitation.
What?
The types of the precipitation.
Rain.
Yeah. Number 1, rain. Number 2,
Sleet.
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 Sleet, yeah. Number 3,
Snowy.
yeah, snow and hail. Snow and
Hail.
thank you so much, Zaid. Okay. So grade 2, this is the types of the precipitation. And what about the precipitation is the water that falls to the earth. The water that falls to the earth from the clouds. It falls to the earth from the clouds in 4 shapes. It's fall in 4 shapes. Can you tell me again, Kusai, about the shapes? Kusai?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Kusai. So the types of the precipitation, number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Rain.
Rain. Number 2.
Snow.
Sleet. Yeah. Snow and sleet. Yeah. And number 3.
Snow.
Number 3, hail.
Hail.
Thank you so much, Kusai. Yes, Abdurrahman. So, Abdurrahman, tell me again, what about the precipitation?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, tell me, Abdurrahman, what about the precipitation is the water that?
The water that falls,
Yeah.
falls
Yeah.
to from clouds.
From the clouds. Amazing, Abdurrahman, and faster boy. Thank you so much, Abdurrahman. So this is about number 2, the precipitation. But how we can measure the precipitation? We have different kind or different type of the precipitation, so we must measure it by different ways. Number 1, what about the rain? We can measure the rain by this tool, and it's called rain gauge. It's called rain gauge. So how we can measure the rain? By the rain gauge. How we can measure the rain? By the rain gauge. I want you to repeat after me, all of you. How we can measure the rain? By rain gauge. Rain gauge. Rain gauge. Rain gauge. So how we can measure the rain? By the rain gauge. By the rain gauge. Yes, Jasser. How we can measure the rain, Jasser? By? Jasser?
A rain gauge.
Yeah, by the rain gauge. Thank you so much, Jasser. Okay. And okay. And what about the snow, grade 2? How we can measure the snow? First, I will tell you. This rain gauge is like a cup, and when the rain is fall down, it can measure how much rain falls. How much rain falls. And also, I will send it to you a video to know how you can make this rain gauge. It's very easy. But the rains fall down and we can measure it by the rain gauge. But how we can measure the snow? We cannot collect the snow in this rain gauge. So we can measure the snow by the ruler. Look, by this ruler, we can measure the snow. We can measure the snow by the ruler. So by the ruler, we can measure the snow. So how we can measure the snow, Muhammad Abdul Muhsin? Yes, Muhammad Abdul Muhsin?
Teacher.
Yeah. Open the camera.
Yes.
Okay, I got close your camera. All of you close your camera. Yes, Muhammad Abdul Muhsin. Muhammad Abdul Muhsin. Absent. Okay. Yes, Osama. Osama Khalid.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Osama. Tell me, Osama, how we can measure the snow? Why? Osama? By the?
Gold.
Yes, the snow, we can measure it by the ruler. By the?
Ruler.
Yes, this ruler, we can measure it by the ruler. We can measure it by the
ruler.
yes, ruler. Thank you so much, Osama. Yes, Hatem, tell me again how we can measure the snow by the
Ruler.
by the ruler. Thank you so much, Hatem. Okay. Yes, Osama. Okay, so we can measure the precipitation by different ways. If we wanted to measure the rain, we can measure the rain by the rain gauge.
My name.
Yes, I will call your name. Wait, Abdul. So we can measure the rain by the rain gauge, and we can measure the snow by the ruler. So how can we measure the weather? First, we can describe the temperature and we can measure it by the thermometer. Second, we can measure the precipitation. The precipitation have different kinds or different types. Maybe number one is the rain. What about the rain? We can measure the rain by the rain gauge. And number two, the snow. We can measure the snow by the ruler. Okay? So what we learned today, grade 2, we can define the temperature and we can define the precipitation. But who can tell me again about the temperature and the precipitation? Yes, Saqar. Saqar? Saqar?
Yes, teacher.
Can you tell me, Saqar, again about the precipitation? Is the water that?
Water.
Yeah.
Fall
Yeah.
to earth from the cloud.
Wow, you are amazing. Thank you so much, Saqar. Amazing, Saqar, mashallah. Okay, and I love you more. And what about the temperature? Yes, Abdullah Muhammad Sayyid, can you tell me about the temperature? Yes, Abdullah Muhammad Sayyid, the temperature. Tell us how. Where are you, Abdullah? Are you sleeping? Okay. Yes, Ali. Ali, tell me about the temperature.
Yes.
The temperature, tell us how.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so wait, Abdullah. Okay, wait, Abdullah, wait, honey. Yes, Ali, the temperature, tell us how.
Cold or hot?
Yeah, hot or cold, that something is. Thank you so much, Ali. Yes, Abdullah, tell me how we can use the tools to measure the weather. How we can measure the temperature? By? Temperature by
Thermometer.
Yes, can you help me to write thermometer? First, we will write here temperature.
Temperature.
Yeah. And I hope all of you write with me in your notebook. Okay? Temperature. Quickly write in your notebook. So how we can measure the temperature, Abdullah, by the thermometer. Yeah, by the thermometer. Help me how we can write the thermometer.
T-H-E-R-M.
Yeah, thermo.
O-R.
M again, thermometer.
Thermometer.
Yeah, thermometer. Thank you so much, Abdullah. So we can describe the weather by the temperature and we can measure the temperature by the thermometer. Yeah? Number two, we can describe the temperature by, thank you, Abdullah. Yes, Sultan Salah, we can describe the temperature by?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, tell me how we can describe the temperature number two by the bird?
Or cold.
Yeah, this is the temperature, but if we wanted to measure the weather, we can describe the temperature or the precipitation or yes, precipitation. Precipitation. Can you write precipitation with me? Precipitation. All of you write in your notebook, okay, and send it to me on the Telegram. Yes, write in your notebook. Notebook, not your science.
Teacher.
Yes, write in your notebook. And close your mic. No one ask me how many. Okay, close your mic. So precipitation, how we can measure the precipitation, Sultan? If we wanted to measure the rain, we can measure the rain by rain gauge. Amazing. Rain by the rain gauge. Okay, rain. Help me to write rain gauge. Rain, R-A-I-N, and gauge, G. A. I'm sorry, I can't write well. Oh, what is this? Gauge. This is the rain gauge. Thank you, Sultan. Amazing. Thank you so much. Sultan Naif. So if we wanted to measure the snow, how we can measure the snow?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Sultan Naif. How we can measure the snow? By the ruler. By the
Ruler.
yes,
Ruler.
by the ruler. By the
Ruler.
ruler. Okay, quickly write. Quickly write. Quickly, grade 1, grade 2, sorry.
Teacher,
Yeah.
I want to say this.
Yes, okay, you will answer. What's your name?
I want to say
What's your name?
Jabir.
Gaber. You answer. Okay, so please write now, okay?
Okay.
Okay, if you're not finished, you can write it after that. Okay, you can write in your notebook. Okay, now the evaluation time, because there is no time. So let's start. Number 1, we will match. Okay, here we will match the correct answer. Number 1, the people think, listen to me, grade 2, please, okay?
Okay.
Yes, Agab. Agab. Are you here, Agab?
No, Jabir.
Okay, Jabir, close your mic.
Okay.
Agab.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Agab, number 1, the people think about the what every day? We think about what every day? We think about the temperature or ruler or weather.
Weather.
Yeah, we think about the weather every day. Thank you so much, Agab. Yes, Saud. Where are you, Saud? Thank you, Yahya. I can see your picture now. Thank you so much.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Saud. The rain can be measured with a, how we can measure the rain, Saud? With a ruler or rain gauge?
Rain gauge.
Amazing, Saud. Thank you so much, Saud. Yes, Nasser. Nasser. Naif. Abdulaziz Mansour.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Abdulaziz. It's a measure of how hot or cold something is. How hot or cold something is. It is the temperature or ruler. How hot or cold? Yes, the temperature. Amazing. Thank you so much, Abdulaziz. Good boy. Yes, Abdullah.
Notebook.
What?
This book science or notebook?
No, now answer with me. Just focus with me now. Yes, Abdullah Abdulaziz. Abdullah, Abdulaziz. Okay, Abdullah, number 4. The people use to measure the temperature. How the people can use the temperature? They use what? They use the temperature, also a ruler or thermometer. So Abdullah, how they can measure the temperature? They use the... Abdullah, can you hear my voice? Okay, Sultan Bashir. Sultan Bashir?
Yes.
Yes, Sultan. The people use what to measure the temperature? Ruler or thermometer? Yes, Sultan?
Ruler.
Are you sure the people use the ruler to use the temperature? Okay, can I ask you, Turkey? Turkey. Wait, Sultan, don't close your mic, okay? Turkey?
Teacher.
Turkey, tell me that Turkey, how the people can use a temperature. People use what to measure the temperature? They use the ruler, as Sultan say, or thermometer?
Ruler.
Ruler to use thermometer. Amazing, Turkey. So, Sultan, thank you, Turkey. So, Sultan, they use what to measure the temperature? Thermometer.
Thermometer.
Yeah, thank you, Sultan. Thank you so much. Okay, Sulaiman. Sulaiman?
Yes.
Yes. Snow can be measured. The snow can be measured with a thermometer or ruler. Yeah, the ruler. Thank you so much, Sulaiman. Yes, Malik? Malik? Tell me, Malik, how the snow can be measured by the Malik. Abdullah Muhammad Qasim? What's your name? Yeah, what's your name? Quickly.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Malik. So the snow can be measured with a ruler or thermometer? The snow. Abdullah Muhammad Qasim.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Abdullah, tell me the snow quickly. Snow can be measured with a ruler or thermometer?
Ruler.
Amazing, Abdullah. Thank you so much. Who is one to answer? Who is not answer? Yes, grade 2 is not answer.
Me. Answer. Teacher.
What's your name?
I am Rashid.
Omar, you answer. Abdulaziz Samok. And Abdulaziz, you answer.
I want to answer again.
No. There is no time. Thank you so much, grade 2, sorry. My bid is finished. Now, please leave the meeting.
I love you, teacher.
I love you more. Thank you so much.
Thank you.